end the siege in Gaza and free Palestine. Welcome back to So You're Interested In, the show where I break down an artist's discography in order to give you, the viewer, the best possible jumping off point in order to get into their catalog. On this installment, let's look at the Irish punk band Fontaines D.C. Starting in the mid-2010s, this post-punk focused outfit has grown into one of the premier politically driven major punk acts of the past few years. Mainly dealing with Ireland and Irishness, these boys from the Emerald Isle pen poignant and resonating tunes whether you're Irish or not. Their somewhat snarky but entirely earnest approach can be best attributed to the band's lead singer Grian Chatton, although the other band members contribute to this philosophy as well. Their discography isn't too terribly deep at this time, but their music is rich with history and gravity. These aren't your average head-bumping post-punk tunes, as the band finds ways to make each song deeply personal, either for themselves or for the listeners. Now, I typically wouldn't cover a band as big as Fontaines D.C, but then again, I am the host and I get to call the shots. And in this case, I find this band far too important not to discuss for a plethora of reasons that we're about to get into. All's this to say, this group is absolutely accessible to anyone watching this, and if you haven't heard them yet, then you should go and change that as soon as this video ends. To help guide you on your journey, I'll be recommending 2 albums and 3 individual tracks to introduce you to Fontaines D.C. As per usual, we're gonna start things off with the albums. The first album from Fontaines D.C. that you should listen to is their 2019 debut LP, Doggerel. Chock full of bump and post-punk tracks, this record will have you up and dancing before you even know it. With their working class outlook being shot into Doggerel like pure adrenaline, this record is drenched in character, attitude, energy, and probably some Guinness as well. The first cut that's gonna have you shaking your hips is Sha Sha Sha, a song that would make the Clash very proud. With the instruments thumping in unison, you'd have an easier time stopping a runaway train than stopping the rhythm that is being shouted right into your ears. The catchy and simple hook helps to turn Sha 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 into a ridiculously accessible tune. Right after that in the track listing is Too Real, a scorcher from start till stop that is brimming over with blistering guitar sneers and ample bass pulls. To me, this is the first song that singer Grian Chatton grabs by the balls and makes his own, completely dominating the sarcastic lyrics. If you're anything like me, you'll have Is It Too Real for You ringing in the empty space between your ears for months to come. Slowing things down a tad is the cut Roy's tune. More than anything, I bring this up because it's such a gorgeous song, specifically the way the vocal delivery sways with the instrumental. You can tell there's a certain sadness within the lyrics, yet the song itself doesn't feel outright depressing, mostly thanks to Chatton's crooning vocals. However, the song that's going to light you on fire with its upbeat percussion, lively guitars, and exploding bass is Boys in the Better Land. This is the type of song that you can see being belted out in a giant arena with thousands of adoring fans singing in unison. This is the type of post-punk that not only encourages dancing, but undoubtedly thrives from it. The grooves here are utterly spellbinding, splitting left and right with the type of precision that you'd see from an Olympic skier on the slalom. If you want to blast something as loud as you can, might I suggest blaring Boys in the Better Land? Doggerel is a killer debut LP, one that should be played at its loudest possible volume in its entirety, making it a perfect listen for any incoming fans. The next Fontaines D.C. record to spin should be their 2022 effort, Skinty FIA. A more introspective record at heart, Skinty FIA feels more personal and intimate due to its gothic rock approach. The opening song, In Argro Go Dio, is a pretty stark indicator of the stylistic leanings. It features an incredible buildup of intensity with little instrumental help and plenty of Chatton's captivating vocals. The backing vocals are also amazing, being the backbone of the song until the snappy post-punk drums enter the fold. This record is also outwardly Irish, with this song in particular setting the tone with the lyrics. The story behind the concept of this song revolves around an Irish woman who died while living in England and who was refused an Irish phrase on her tombstone for fear that it was a political slogan. So much of Skinty FIA deals with this kind of stuff, and I personally love it because I'm very proud of my Irish heritage. And what I personally find baffling about this whole story of the Irish woman and her tombstone is that this didn't happen like 50 or 60 years ago, it happened as recently as 2 or 3 years ago. Which, if you ask me, is incredibly fucked up. Sorry, back to the music. Jackie Down the Line is a bit of a mood changer, as it chugs along with such a great pace. The instrumental will probably stick in your head for days, and so will the vocal melody, they're just too catchy. It's an irresistible listen, even if the lyrics are about distrust and broken promises. Then there is The Couple Across the Way, a gorgeous piece of traditional Irish music. It's a quaint cut that really hammers home the Irishness of this record. Plus, it shows off the band's ability to succeed in doing different, unique unique sounds. The star of the show, for me however, is I Love You. Somehow, the lyrics are both a love letter to Ireland and also a condemnation of their greed. It's complex and way more intricate than my basic description. It's simply enthralling from beginning to end thanks to the passionate performances by each of the band members. Skinty FIA might not have all of the hits in comparison to Doggerel, but this is an album that you'll keep coming back to, digging in deeper and deeper to find new hidden gems with each passing listen. Do not miss out on this LP. That's gonna do it for the albums, but don't you go anywhere, cause we still got some tracks to cover. The first Fontaines D.C. track to check out is A Hero's Death, the title track to their 2020 album. Admittedly, this is not my favorite Fontaines D.C. project by a decent stretch, but this song is too good to deny. Mainly because it's big and in your face, with the band churning out some rip-roaring post-punk riffs. The percussion sounds extra raw and snappy, while Chatton's vocals hover above like an omniscient god. There's a swagger to this tune too, even if the hook does repeat the line, "Life ain't always empty." Not to mention, the background vocals that pop in and out forces the listener to bop along. A Hero's Death is a very accessible track that should not be skipped. Next, I would like to recommend tossing on the live version of Dublin City Sky from the band's 2021 Live at Kilmainham record. It's damn cool to see the band take this slower Doggerel song and commit to faithfully playing it in all of its emotions. To me, this is some of the closest that Fontaines D.C. has ever come to sounding like the Pogues, which is always a good thing. It's not a perfect rendition, but that's what makes it so charming. They still sound so close and personal, even if they are playing this giant museum. It's not the final song from the set, but it damn well could have been with its cathartic nature. If you're really starting to listen to Fontaines D.C. for the first time, then I highly recommend checking out this full live album in its entirety, but if you only have time for one song, make sure it's Dublin City Sky. Finally, I want you to go check out the band's cover of the Nick Drake tune, Cello Song. I do my best to not talk about covers on here, but this is too damn good not to mention. The band takes creative liberties where they see fit, but they don't uproot what makes the original such a classic. Particularly the drums and strings sound immaculate, cascading across the cut like an overhead shot of a gorgeous landscape. Chatton does a wonderful job with the vocals too, making Drake's poignant words stand out from the lush instrumental. If you've never heard the original version of Cello Song by Nick Drake, I do recommend checking that out first. It'll make listening to the Fontaines D.C. cover even better, because you'll be able to see how a good band can make a great cover and bring a song from the past into the modern day. It seems as though everything that Fontaines D.C. touches turns to gold. And no, that was not a lame attempt at an Irish joke. And that is going to conclude my video covering Fontaines D.C. Links to all the albums and tracks discussed here will be located in the video description box below. Scroll down even further to the comment section where you can let me know if you liked any of the albums or tracks that I picked here. Maybe you're a huge Fontaines D.C. fan and you think that I completely screwed the pooch on this, that's fine. Go to the comments and let me know. I have thick skin, I can take it. You can also recommend any artist you'd like to see covered on so you're interested in the comments as well. Or you can go to the brand spanking new Forever Spinning Discord server. There is a link to the Discord server in the description below as well. Feel free to join. We'll be talking about what we're listening to. We'll be talking about vinyl. We'll be talking about Forever Spinning. We'll just be talking. So if you want to talk music, go ahead, join. We're going to have a lot of fun. Also, be sure to follow Forever Spinning Grails on Instagram so you can help vote for which artist I cover next week. Polls go up every Tuesday and Thursday, so be sure to be on the lookout and have your voice heard. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Forever Spinning for more videos just like this every single week, along with other shows that I do, such as Stacks of Wax, The Variety Show, and Where It's At. And yeah, that is pretty much all that I have to say outside of my usual reminder for you to go out and support your local record store if you are able to, along with the local artists in your area. And well, till I see you next time, happy listening.